Okay, what's going on, guys? Now let's go over the five back formation. I know the nerf is coming, so enjoy it while you can. So I thought, let me just give you all my tactics that I've been solving up. Now, this one is actually a really good one because if you like the five back, but you don't like the 5-2-1-2, but you want more width, but you want to be defensively sound, this is the one to go with. In fact, this is the one with a CDM. Now, you may have seen this. I put before the game even came out, I told you could do this. You could put, for example, this player on a center half and you can actually make it into like a 4-4-2 effectively when you're in possession, which is actually very interesting. So imagine you can attack in a 4-4-2, but then you can defend in a 5-3-2. Very interesting. But in this one, we're not talking about defending or attacking in a 5-3-2. We're just talking about defending in that 5-3-2, and then we're attacking in. Although it looks like a 3-1-4-2. I'm going to say a 3-5-2. So if you like the 4-4-1-1 formation or the 4-5-1 formations, but you want two strikers instead, this is a better variation of this, better variation of the 4-4-1-1 or the 4-4-1-1 or I would say the 4-5-1. So how it starts off is you got the striker and Rodrigo. Striker's advanced forward. Rodrigo's the poacher on striker. Now, to be honest, I know they're going to buff AI movement next in the next patch, but ideally I would say I'm probably leaning towards using poacher most of the time. The only exception is for Sun, because he does use the finesse shots. That's the only reason why I use him. Otherwise, to be honest, you would have poacher just like Rodrigo, if you're asking me personally speaking. Now, the key to this player is the heart of this defense. Now, when you're in possession, this player is going to be protecting your back three. When you're out of possession, this player is that CDM. So the kind of the caveat with five backs is that you don't, when you have the ball, right, there's a massive gap between your midfield line and your back line, and people get taken in between these lines. But the benefit of having a CDM there is that you have that security, you have that safety. Now, don't forget CDMs, they sit much more deeper compared to center mids. So this player you'd want holding. You wouldn't want to put a box to block or a deep line. Well, you could technically do that, but you want to do this as simple as a holding, defend. This player's job is to defend the counter attacks, and if you lose the ball, you can win the ball back very easily with this player. I'm actually going to create a 5-back different slot variation this weekend, Link, so stay tuned for that as well. Both the left center mid and right center mid and playmaker, you don't need to go for something. So if I go back to with the ball for a second, you don't need to go for something like a holding or anything like that, or even a deep line playmaker, or even a box to box, because you have the CDM already with giving you protection. You can afford to put both the players on playmaker. Now, to be honest, Guijarro and Bomati are very, very good in these roles. To be honest, if you want, you could put one box to box, one playmaker. But I like when you're attacking, you have the two center mids as the option that sit higher. They're close to the center mid, so you can do those 1-2s. But also you have that ability to also have that CDM there that won't be too far away. You can rotate the ball to him. And also, if you do lose the ball, your CM is there as protection. So do you see why I say it's basically like a 4-5-1 with an extra striker? That's the key aspect of this formation. So if you're a big fan of the 4-5-1, this is actually a different setup with just two strikers of that. Of course, the vulnerability would be when you lose the ball. Okay, so obviously when you have a back three, although you have a CDM, that will be your vulnerability, your left back and right back. Now, to be honest, even after they nerf five backs, I think, look, as long as you can manually defend, they'll be a bit wider. You could argue the gaps would be a bit bigger, but to be honest, as long as you can defend, the five backs are still going to be viable. You're just going to catch the people out that play the 5-4-1, sit there, park the bus, and they don't bring the ball back going forward. For the left back and right back, though, we've gone with attacking wing backs. Look, ideally, you want the plus variations here. In roles like this, look, Kimmich is not the fastest of right backs. To be honest, I'm mainly testing his lob through balls with him, but he's not the fastest of right backs. But with the roll plus, there's a lot of movement. So I would say ideally try to get at least attacking wingback plus. If you can get plus, even better. A perfect example is Batcher. Batcher's a cheap card. You can buy her. She's not that expensive. She's under 50k. I think she's like 20k, wherever she is now. Use her, see how she is, and you'll see how effective she is at going forward. And then also coming back, you see the AI movement really stands up shop and really stands out there now. So I've put this on both attacking. You can put them on balance. You want to be a bit conservative. Now, the back three, I have them all defend to defend. The players here are important to have pace because when these guys are going forward, you need to have the two players to have pace so they can recover the wider areas when you lose the ball. So it's important your fastest players on the left centre back and the right centre back role are sometimes very, very important there. Now, you can technically play with something like, a ball playing centre back. To be honest, I really wouldn't. In every formation, even a 5-back, I'm literally going with defender defend. I think this is the best solutions that you can have at the moment, and I really wouldn't risk going towards anything else. And you're going to see with the depth, it's quite not an aggressive depth, but it's an advanced depth. So you don't want to be caught out of possession, and plus, you don't want these centre backs to go forward because you know how rebounds are. Like they haven't talked about them in the first patch. We don't know how they're going to change, but there's a chance you could lose the ball. That's the code Juliet and India November at India 1 Papa Tango Mike Papa. That's the formation. It's a 5-3-2, of course. The build-up style we've gone with counter. Look, to be honest, look, with balance, they literally just do not move. They literally, honestly, I hate balance this year. I thought I would use it. I think 2 formations I'm using it, and one of them is a formation to close the game out. I prefer counter, and everyone is. It's like, it's the only one, the only option that's viable. I wish they had fast build-up play like last year, but they don't have that. So that can be a big caveat. I don't really like the fact that we only have 3 options of short passing, which is basically useless unless you're playing possession and you're a very, very advanced player. Balance, which they don't do everything, and counter, where you have to force the players making runs going forward. Defensive approach, we've gone on 60. Now, to be honest, this one you could probably have tested even on 70 up to 75. Because you have that CDM, the benefit is that you could afford to be more aggressive. Because when you get let's say you lose the ball and the ball gets turned over, you're going to have that CDM there for protection. The most important thing here would be sprint speed and defensive awareness. That would be the most important thing, because defensive awareness is how fast this player would move with a run and jockey. And sprint speed, you could argue, is how quick this player can run back into position. So if you lose the ball, you could always set Tonali and run back manually with your CDM. So if you have someone like Declan Rice as a holding plus, even better. Declan Rice can fare very good in this role. So that's why I would say a better depth would not be the end of the world. So this could be a formation where, as I said to you, where you're attacking in that 2-1-2. Maybe you don't need the cam like in the 5-2-1-2, but you want to be a depth. So if you use that 5-2-1-2, like, you know what? Maybe that's a bit too aggressive for me. You can use this one, which is a more conservative approach. It's like basically a more defensive than a 5-2-1-2. And yeah, that more center midfield. And you can argue defensively, you're going to be better in a structure than that 5-3-2. But anyway, that's the 5-3-2 tactics. What I'm probably going to do this week is I'm going to probably decided now for tactics to create a setup for all the formations at the same time. Because of this new silly system where you can't use, because I can't then change to a 4-back unless I move Kimmich to centre mid, Kimmich to centre mid, and I do something like that. So that is probably one of the biggest downfalls. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Don't forget, if you want to come join my Patreon series, you click here. If you don't get it after 1 month, they'll refund your money. You know, guys, guarantee. Link down in the description. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.